Oh no!
Where are we at?
Oh no!
How are we feeling about Puppet Master 4?
How? Okay. Oh, okay. I know how I'm feeling about Puppet Master 4. For me, is number 1. I am shocked at Puppet Master 4.
I think I agree. I think I'm also number 1.
Absolutely fucking shocked.
It's a weird step backwards. Part 3 kind of opens up the world. Like, it gives us bullshit backstory we don't need, but it feels like a bigger movie.
Sure.
You know, have so many exterior shots, and you know, it's a period piece and all that. Now we're back at that goddamn hotel. At least it looks like the hotel from the first movie.
Yes.
They built the set so it looks the same, as opposed to the second movie where it doesn't at all.
The real reason that I am shocked, I love these movies. I am going to continue my record of the puppets look kind of stupid.
Sure.
They don't look threatening. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted to add more threatening puppets. And we get little demon puppets that look even stupider.
That are being controlled by a giant puppet that looks like a Power Rangers villain.
Everyone around him must die. They must die.
Oh my God.
Sutek.
The lore.
The lore. Now so Toulon got his magic from the Egyptians.
Right.
The Egyptians got their magic from the demon lord Sutek, we learn in Puppet Master 4.
Yes.
Who is the lord of what? Is it another universe, or where are we at?
It
looks like the stage of like an Alice Cooper concert.
Yes. Heavy Gwar vibes.
Yeah.
Not even Alice Cooper.
Yeah, Gwar's more appropriate. He looks like a Gwar monster or something.
I love him, by the way. His like mouth that was kind of sewn together.
Yeah.
Beautiful. His eyes that don't move. He's stupid. He's stupid, and I love him.
It'd probably be okay if it was like shot different. If it was lit like super moody.
Yeah.
And he's just like walking around.
Drink deep from the fountain of evil, my child.
And I believe he is just kind of like a demon or a demon god in Egyptian lore. So it's not like another universe, it's like another realm.
Okay.
You know,
like heaven or hell or something like that.
One of the hells.
Yeah.
There's several hells, he's in one of them.
Okay.
Ugh. I don't know if they explain it. I don't know. My superpower started to fizzle out right around Puppet Master 4.
Well, you can only do so much with the information that they're actually giving you. If they don't tell you what's happening, then
right.
You just have to assume.
Right.
You can tell he's evil because he talks like this. You will now have the power to travel through the portal and go to the upworld.
And the humans are getting too close to artificial intelligence.
Yes. Our main character, Skippy, I don't know what the fuck his name is.
Skippy.
He's a young scientist that's perpetually dressed like a 12-year-old.
And plays laser tag.
And plays laser tag with his robots, which consists of just ducking behind a chair.
Yep.
That's all he does. But he's, I guess, coincidentally doing his research in the Bodega Bay Inn. It's closed down.
Yep.
It's been closed down.
Yep.
It's closed down in all these movies. It's never opened except for the opening of the first movie.
Right.
So yeah, he's trying to figure out artificial intelligence. He works for a bigger company that has other scientists scattered around that are all doing similar work.
So by the way, artificial intelligence and remote work.
Yeah.
Oh, modern.
Ahead of its time.
Ahead of its time. But even though they are not messing with the goop formula or the ancient Egyptian formula.
Don't know anything about it.
The concept of artificial intelligence apparently is copywritten by the demon.
It's too similar.
It's too similar.
Yeah.
And so the demon sends little demon puppets.
Do they call them totems? I think they call them totems or something.
Totems.
Yeah, send some of them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the ghost of Andre Toulon delivers the puppets to the young scientist guy. Is that what happens?
No, Blade. Blade was just around.
Okay.
How'd you get here?
But I want to say in one of the opening shots, we see Blade just like hanging out on a bookshelf, and even the guy's like, "What are you doing down here?" Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think Blade's just been around.
How'd he get there? I don't know.
Why
is he back?
Why would you keep a little? Well, okay. So in the continuity, this would be after
two.
After 2, in which they were just at the hotel. Oh no!
But then they leave.
They leave.
They leave with the lady to go to the insane asylum that we never see.
Oh right. So they had to come back.
There's a whole series of adventures that they should have made a comic book about that. How'd they get from part 2 to part 4?
Right? So we can only assume they went to an insane asylum, killed a bunch of people, and then got fat off of all of their brain matter. So they went back to the hotel, but then they ran out again. Because that's where we are in Puppet Master 4.
Yeah.
They're out of brain goop. Even though they're not out of brain goop, it's right there.
Yeah. It's similar to the first 2. It's just an excuse to get a group of characters in the hotel to kill them off one at a time. Only now the puppets are good, so they can't kill people, so we have to have these other demon puppets killing the people. There's an attempt. These 2 movies, 4 and 5, were shot at the same time.
Yes.
This was a thing Charles Band was starting to do around this time.
Yeah.
Because it's basically 1 movie's worth of content stretched out to 2 films.
Yes.
He did it with Trancers 4 and 5, which were shot in like Bucharest or something.
Sure.
But that was his thing, to maximize profits, is make 1 movie, stretch it into 2, and release it as sequels.
Start churning. Just start churning. We got to make more money. Got to make more money. Start churning.
This is when the Paramount days, we're coming to a close.
Yep.
But they're directed by, 4 and 5 are directed by a guy named Jeff Burr, who passed away last year.
Oh.
Journeyman director. He was the king of B-movie sequels, because he directed Pumpkinhead 2, Stepfather 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and then Puppet Master 4 and 5. And he's another like David Dakota, where it's like he can make a movie on time, on budget, do what he can to add a little visual flair here and there. More so in 5. I think he leaned more into the visuals in 5 because there's no story. So he wanted to do something to liven it up. But with 4, there's like the other scientist lady, hot scientist lady.
Yep.
They send one of the demons to kill her.
Yeah.
And we get like it's pre-GoPro days, but there's like a weird wide-angle lens on her back, and it's supposed to be like the totem's point of view.
Yeah.
So they actually took a little bit of time to do that kind of setup, which is something.
Sure, yeah, very neat shot, very 90s. It's a very 90s shot, but like you said, something.
Yeah. That and Dutch angles, that's his go-to. More so with 5.
A lot of Dutch angles. I think, it was 5. 5 was when the psychic friend kept waking up from her hospital bed with the Venetian blind shadows on her face, which is gorgeous.
Yeah, lots of shadow work. Like there's the main little room that our main character's doing all of his research in.
Yeah.
There's always a doorway to the hallway, and there's always that shadow of the coat rack. Where I'm assuming they're like, this hallway's boring, we got to do something to liven this up. Just shine a light through a coat rack.
But this makes a lot of sense. That hallway too, which they are in constantly.
Yes.
Has lightning outside and like a street light shining through a neat shaped window that is like projecting on the wall, and then every once in a while we get a double up of that shape with the lightning strip. Very cool to see once or twice.
It's all you got. You got to stretch this out to 2 movies.
No, but it's like
just keep cutting to it.
20,000 times of the same damn hallway.
Yeah.
So the story for this one, so demons are coming to stop the artificial intelligence, and at the same time, the evil businessman wants to steal the artificial intelligence to sell it to the Pentagon.
Yes. Even though the artificial intelligence doesn't exist yet. He's still working on it.
When can we see the completed prototype?
We're working on that now. Any news from our boy Wonder?
Yeah, not since he handed in that last set of data.
And the guy works for him, so at any point, as soon as it's done, evil businessman will have it because he's the boss.
Yeah.
But he gets impatient, I guess.
I guess. You gotta have people to kill. It's just an excuse to get people. Well, that's 5. Right? That's when he shows up with his goons. There's
I
the
thought
3
that was
goons.
4.
That's 5. 4 is the scientist and his friends are all just hanging out.
Fuck, you're right.
They blend together because, yeah, there's so little story.
They're the same movie. No, right. Wait, so who died?
The boyfriend, hair helmet boyfriend.
Yeah.
Scientist lady early on.
And other scientist man died, but
Yeah.
I think he died off camera. We know scientist man dies because he throws one of the beasts in the top secret nuclear powered incinerator that is clearly labeled top secret nuclear powered incinerator.
Yeah, it's like a Zucker Brothers gag.
Right?
What we're talking about sounds exciting and kind of fun in a schlocky way. The
Yeah.
movie's very boring.
Yes.
But you do get full-on puppet fights at the end. Which reminded me of like Team America, the beginning where the 2 marionettes are just like slapping each other.
Yep.
They were really banking on this being like an exciting, epic puppet brawl. And it is so boring and so stupid looking.
Yes.
But that's why they introduced the new puppet, who's going to take everyone out by shooting laser beams at them.
You mean the new puppet with exchangeable heads so you
Yeah.
can buy each separately? Decapitron?
Decapitron. Now, we were talking earlier about how Charles Band would come up with like a title and a poster.
Yeah.
In the Empire days, that was an idea for a movie, was Decapitron. And you could find the pre-production art for it online. That was going to be an Empire movie, and it never got made, so he recycled it.
Great.
I think that was supposed to be like a full-size like Robot Man. But once it got worked into Puppet Master 4, it's a puppet now.
And I could see that being a fun idea for a movie, like, man takes off his head and puts on a battle head, puts
Yeah.
on a X-ray head. You got all different heads with all different accessories, each sold separately. And
But this one, did the different heads do anything different? They just keep shooting lightning effects at the totems.
They mentioned in the behind the scenes that, and you can see there are guns, but the guns don't do anything. It's only lightning. But they have lightning head, they have X-ray head, and then they have Morpho head.
They have 90s morph effect head.
The power of the magic has been set free. It now needs a wise master to channel and control it.
I felt so bad. I thought Guy Rolfe was really good as Andre Toulon in Part 3.
Yeah.
And then here, he's just like this stupid-looking, like superimposed head on Decapitron.
And he can't move when he acts, so that they don't have to do any like roto work.
Yeah.
So, one thing I was going to mention is I do think in general the acting is okay in this movie. I think perhaps because the actresses didn't need to flop their tits out, they got a slightly higher caliber. And I know the acting is good because the actress who plays the girlfriend, with the bigger hair, she had to act like she was really impressed with her boyfriend playing laser tag. And come on.
Her boyfriend who dresses like a 12-year-old. The character should have been 12 years old, and that should have been his mom.
Right?
That would have been a totally different dynamic.
Little kid finds the puppets.
Kid genius.
Ah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's probably how
Because they
work.
treat him, keep calling him throughout the movie like the boy wonder,
Yeah.
all the other people that work for the company that he's doing research for. Like, just have it be a little genius kid.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Right? So it's stupid.
If your movie's going to be sexless anyway, then go all in on the kiddie aspects of it.
Sexless, I want to say still rated R.
Yeah, there's a little bit of blood here and there, not much.
That was pretty fun. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good kill scene.
There is, I cannot remember if it's 4 or 5. There's a death scene. I think it's in 5 because there's more kills in 5.
Yeah.
We'll just go into 5.
Great.
They're
It's
the same movie.
It's the same fucking movie.
5 is, the company that he works for sends a team of goons to the Bodega Bay to find the puppets.
Yeah.
So they can get the mojo juice or whatever. But there's one of those guys gets killed, gets knocked over, and his flashlight is laying on the ground, and the demon is like slashing at him.
Yes!
Blood splatters on the flashlight, and then the scene is like bathed in red.
Fuck yeah.
And that's the thing. I was like, Jeff Burr, he's trying to do something with very little. So he's doing something visual. We do get, in part 5, another Christmas Vacation actor.
Todd.
And why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot.
Oh, I know.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus' husband in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
And we get 2 RoboCop actors.
Oh, really?
The older, the black scientist man was in, I think, all 3 RoboCops. And then the bald-headed thug that's in the hotel was in RoboCop 2.
Fuck you! You senile bastard!
Yeah, more character actors in part 5.
Yeah.
And that's because Jeff Burr had worked with a lot of these people before.
Yeah. We need bodies. I need you to walk around a hallway for 8 hours and then die to a puppet. Can you come on, Todd?
Yeah.
Come on.
And Dwayne Whitaker is the more kind of rednecky looking one.
Yeah,
The one who gets the meat tenderizer to the crotch. He was in Pulp Fiction. He worked with Jeff Burr on Jeff Burr mostly did horror sequels, but he made one very independent movie called Eddie Presley, and Dwayne Whitaker was the star of that. Oh. It was like a one-man play that they then adapted into a movie. Mm-hmm. And like Quentin Tarantino has a cameo in it. A bunch of people are Clu Gulager's in it. And it's a good movie. It's about this kind of street performer in LA trying to make it, and he does Elvis impersonations, and he has like a nervous breakdown on stage. Yeah. It's a great movie, and it's like impossible to find now. It just never got like good distribution. Aww. But that was like Jeff Burr's like, I'm gonna make a real movie now. Yeah. And it's just like vanished to time. Ugh. But Dwayne Whitaker was the star of that, and now he's getting a meat tenderizer to the groin.
He has that look to him.
Oh, yeah.
I want him to get a meat tenderizer to the groin.
I just want something to happen in the movie, that's all.
That would be great. So much walking in hallways. One of my notes for this, I don't even need to look at my notebook because I remember this one, which is that's not how you search a building. Because the whole idea is the evil corporate guy and the goons are searching for the notebook, the goop, the toys, whatever. We don't know. And they only walk around. They don't go into rooms.
No.
It is infuriating.
Oh, where are you, little buggers?
Because it's like, just go into a room. A room can't be that much more expensive. You can just rearrange the boxes in the same room to make it look like different rooms.
Maybe they just ran out of space in their warehouse that they were filming in. We only have enough space for these sets, and that's it.
That's it. I'm sorry.
I listened to a little bit of the commentary track on, I don't know if it was 4 or 5, but Jeff Burr is very aware that is one movie stretched into 2.
Yeah.
And he says, he's like, I challenge somebody out there to re-edit these movies, tighten it up, make it into one solid movie. There's probably a good movie in there. He's very like honest about this.
I don't know if you could make it better. You could make it shorter.
You can make it shorter. That would make it better.
I guess, and then you would have more kills in your one movie. You could cut out the fact that Dude Man was arrested, because that goes nowhere.
Yeah, that's how part 5 starts. He was arrested because of the events of part 4, but then he immediately gets out.
Yes.
And then that's just it. Then he's just back at the hotel again.
Yeah.
Why did that happen? Because something's got to happen. We have to put something on the VHS tape so we can put it on the shelf in Blockbuster.
And then, and then what happens?
Yeah.
And then it's...
the puppets killed all the little totem demons in the last movie. What do we do? Oh, there's another one that's a little bit better. Or
looks exactly the same. No, this one's got a little robe, I think.
Yeah,
he's got a
little cape.
This one is the totem for Sutek.
Yes.
And he's got a little vest. Mm-hmm. Sold separately.
And we get more fight scenes of just... There's a couple good stop motion shots. I think, doesn't Six Shooter like lasso him at one point?
Yeah.
I think that happens.
And you get a cool stop motion shot. Yeah, it's pretty stupid. The heroes leave, and now it's puppets versus demons. Puppets win because Decapotron is back. Because also Decapotron got de-animated, so they had to have a second Decapitron animation sequence.
Yes.
How he-
also Torch is now around. He wasn't in part 4 at all. He just shows up in this one, and you're like,
yeah.
where was he? Where was he in the last movie?
It would have been very helpful.
Yeah.
Right?
But he just shows up in this one as if he was always there.
So a lot of these movies have cut to the credits real dang quick.
Yes.
Puppet Master 5 cuts to the credits mid-monologue.
I know that the spirit of Toulon will always be with me. But I also know there will be more evil to fight. At least I'll have a few friends to go into battle with me.
Well, before that, we have the conclusion to the puppets defeat the demon or whatever. And it's
or whatever.
Man, and then it cuts to attractive girlfriend jogging.
Yes.
And I was so excited to see the outside. Yeah. I was so excited to get a shot that is like not in one of these tiny sets. It's just like, I felt like I came up from air. I was drowning.
Very 90s outfit, bright neon colors, spandex. Great.
It's fine. I was just happy to see trees. But then now he's the new puppet master, and his girlfriend is okay with it, and all the puppets live with him on this tiny one-wall set that she walks into.
Yeah.
And the Decapitron puppet is the embodiment of Toulon.
Sure.
Another setup for a movie that will never exist.
Ever, yeah.
But yeah, he's like, I am with you, Puppet Master. But we have many more evils to fight as the credits are rolling. Get us the fuck out of here.
I'm not done yet. I'm going to set up a movie. That legitimately made me laugh out loud.
It's such a weird choice, too, for a movie that's trying to stretch its runtime as much as possible.
Right?
Why would, just have him keep talking?
I can only imagine they ran out of film. Or like he messed up the end of the take, so they just had to cut to black.
But I also know there will be more evil to fight.
In a series that's constantly trying to stretch time.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing about these movies, too, is a lot of full moon movies in general. They will have very long opening credit scenes.
Oh, yeah.
And not as prevalent in Puppet Master, but I know there's other ones where the end credits go very, very slow because they're just trying to get it to 80 minutes because that's what Paramount probably required.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All of these opening credit sequences, though, were just, text over black.
That same song. Yeah.
For as long as they can possibly stretch it out. Oh, boy.
I am with you, Puppet Master.
I know that the spirit of Toulon will always be with me.
Jack, we've been talking for 2 hours, and we still have 2 more movies to go. This may be the biggest mistake of my life. The problem is, most of the movies are so dull.
Yeah.
We're probably making them sound more exciting than they actually are. They're all very leisurely paced.
I bet you can find kind of like a clip show on YouTube that is just like the best of all the Puppet Master movies. It'll be like 45 minutes of just the puppet stuff.
Or you can watch one of the movies in the franchise that we're skipping, which is Puppet Master: The Legacy, which comes after Retro Puppet Master. That is basically an hour-long clip show.
There you go.
There's a tiny wraparound that is new footage. I think it's shot on video, but it's the Peter character from Part 3. He's back.
Oh, no.
And he's sort of he's like the bookend to it, and it just leads into flashbacks to all the previous movies.
Ugh. Yeah.
That was at the lowest point where they're just trying to keep a new Puppet Master movie on the new release shelf. So they literally released a clip show movie.
Anyone watching this probably notices we are spending a lot of time talking about Full Moon as a business, the directors, the things that other people... We talked about Todd.
No, seriously. I mean, why is it always me?
That's how exciting the movie is I got excited when Todd showed up.
He's also in Dollman.
Oh, I gotta watch Dollman now.
Speaking of boring, talk about a missed opportunity. Dollman's such a fun concept.
Yes.
But the movie's not great.
Again, these are the kind of movies that theoretically should be ripe for a modern remake.
Yeah. There was a Puppet Master reboot called Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich. We're not going to be talking about that one. One, because I don't want to watch it again. It's a very ugly movie.
Okay.
But it's also outside of canon. That is a total reboot.
Perfect. But it's like these movies that kind of have a nugget of a good, like very like The Thing from Outer Space versus The Thing. Oh, we got a nugget of an idea here. What if we give that to an auteur? What if we give that to someone who can expand on the good parts, shove away the bad parts?
That's what I was hoping for with that Puppet Master Littlest Reich movie, but...
Yeah.
What if the puppets were the bad guys, which I guess I kind of like in part 2, but what if they were explicitly Nazis and they committed hate crimes? Isn't that funny?
It's not what we want.
Yeah.
It's not what we want. Yeah. Also not what we want. Oh no!
Curse of the Puppet Master! This is the first post-Paramount movie. This is the biggest gap so far between movies. This is like 4 years.
Yeah.
The Paramount deal went south. Budgets got much lower for the post-Paramount movies. Full Moon's operating completely independently now. So this is the first Puppet Master movie since that happened. Curse of the Puppet Master.
You notice this one I'm going to label 4. A disjointed mess, and I look upset while watching it.
Oh, see, I'm going to go with 3, because that was my expression through most of the movie. So David Dakota's back.
Oh boy.
The director of Part 3.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite movie, except for ours, I guess. But he's back, and this is more explicitly a David Dakota film. He goes by a pseudonym, though. In the opening credits, it says, like, directed by Victoria Sloan, and I don't know why. I don't think it would be a union thing, because all he did was no-budget movies. He thought this one was beneath him. I don't know.
So,
where are we in the timeline?
The plot for this one, in the timeline, we are now in modern day. We know we're in modern day because we see modern day things.
Even though it feels old-timey. It has this like feeling like it's supposed to be the 40s or the 50s or something.
It's because the man has like a Model T truck.
Yeah, and there's like bullies that feel like they're right out of like Stand By Me or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Very weird, but those bullies also have a modern day car.
Yeah.
So it's modern day.
Well, first of all, before we talk about anything, we should point out, because people are going to see clips from it, the technical aspects of this remaster. Because it frequently cuts to like SD VHS footage.
Yes.
So I think when they were doing the remaster, that like some of the original like camera negative elements were just missing.
Okay.
So they didn't have them, so they had to use like a Beta SP tape master for the missing chunks. So it cuts back and forth between pretty decent like film, because this is still shot on film.
Yeah.
Pretty decent looking film master with this like really crummy VHS, upscaled VHS.
Noticeably. Like that was, I want to say, one of my very first notes was, what the fuck is with this camera?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a technical snafu, not shooting on 2 different cameras.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's still gross.
It's very jarring when it cuts to it.
Yes.
It happens again a little bit, less so in Retro Puppet Master, but it does have some of that.
I have to remember Retro Puppet Master. I don't have room in my brain yet for Retro Puppet Master because there's so much in Curse of the Puppet Master, which is old Puppet Master takes on a new apprentice, Tank.
Well, this is a new Puppet Master. This is a guy we've never seen before.
You're right.
He bought the puppets at like a yard sale or something? What?
Well, I have a confession to make. I didn't make them. I bought them at an auction years ago. They came in an old trunk, and when I took them home, well, they were the same then as they are now. See, I've tried to duplicate that process, but I've never been able to make a living puppet.
But yeah, the puppets have a new owner, and he keeps them in like a cage.
Yes.
He's very, very mean to these puppets.
Very mean to the puppets. We see him very clearly burying a puppet and lighting a puppet on fire in the opening scene. Something has gone wrong, and he says, "I'm sorry I failed you," or something like that. Something has gone wrong with one of the puppets. Oh no.
Yes.
Hopefully it's not a fan favorite. P.S. It is one of my favorite puppets. Fucking love that puppet. But as the story goes, they run into Tank, a slow but gentle giant who is really good at wood carving.
And is also hunky and looks good in his underwear.
Oh my God.
Because David Dakota.
He is in his underwear so often.
Yes.
No knots, no flaws, perfect wood.
Something really important that I would like to emphasize, because it will come up later, he's a really good wood carver.
Yes, yes.
Very good at that. Man, he can carve wood very well. That's very important to this movie.
And that catches the attention of the new puppet master.
Yes.
Because he needs a new apprentice, because his old apprentice is just gone. Where'd he go?
Mysteriously
vanished.
So he wants to train Tank in the ways of puppet mastering to bring life to puppets. Because like once again, the puppets are just out. Like literally, they have like a freak show attraction in which the puppets are part of the freak show, and everyone's okay with it.
Well, stock footage from the previous movies are part of the freak show.
Fastest 6 guns in the West, 6-shooter.
Because that's a running thing throughout this. It's like the lowest budget movie in the series so far. So. Yeah. There's multiple scenes like at the dinner table.
Yes.
Because the new puppet master, he has a daughter, and Tank ends up, falling in love with the daughter.
Of course.
But there's scenes with them around the dinner table, and they keep looking over. They keep referencing the puppets, and they look over at the puppets, and then it cuts to footage that is clearly from the earlier movies.
Yes.
Because it's like a completely different backdrop.
But not Blade. He has no hidden motives, no secret self. He is purely and perfectly what he is.
All the puppet work that's actually done for this movie, this is like what we were talking about, where it's just some guy like,
yes,
so very limited articulation.
Sad.
Yeah, a little pathetic. At least Tunneler's like drill still spins.
I guess
that's something.
No, it's very, very sad, because like even in the past movies, when someone was just bobbing it up and down, it was noticeable. But kind of okay, because we mixed it in with the stop motion and we mixed it in with the articulated puppets, so it's passable. It's all fine and adorable and charming. Here it is where it gets sad.
Yeah,
because any of the new puppet footage is just some guy going like this. Huh? They are just hoping that the franchise steam. People love Puppet Masters, they'll just love a Puppet Master movie. It doesn't matter if the puppets aren't in it that much.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
It's an attempt to just keep the name around. It's like all the later Hellraiser sequels.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're all direct-to-video, and it was literally the company making the movies just so they could hold on to the rights to the franchise.
Sure.
And it's like, well, yeah, but if you're making these cheap movies that suck, and you're doing it for no other reason than to hold on to the name, but you're not doing anything like good or real with the name, why are you holding on to it? Like, what is anyone supposed to get out of this?
They're waiting for someone bigger to buy it from them, and they want that right price.
I guess.
Sony did it with Spider-Man. They're doing that with the Hellboy movies now. Where
that new shitty Hellboy movie. Well, in the case of Charles Band, because he's very like keen on keeping the rights to his stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this is just like we're at a low point, and he talks about this in like interviews, and he has a book, he has an autobiography that I've read. He's relatively open about his failures. But yeah, he's always trying to like maintain the rights to these things. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're at a low point now. We don't have a lot of money to make this movie, but maybe things will pick up and we can make a better one in the future.
Great.
Really? Worst film you ever saw? Well, my next one will be better.
Okay, so in the movie, the new older puppet master is very reverential towards the puppets. He doesn't use the word master race, but they are a perfect race of beings. They feel no pain, they feel no hunger. They are what they are. They don't have our emotional and so I will use you as my test subject. You will carve for me out of wood a new puppet, and then I will make you inhabit that puppet to prove the process works, and then I can turn everyone into perfect beings.
Yes.
The perfect puppets, which has come up before as far as like killing machines or perfect puppets, but they're just fucking puppets, man.
Well, there's a reason that what he's explaining feels like it doesn't line up with talking about puppets, and that's because this movie is a scene-for-scene remake of a movie from the 70s called S, which is a movie about snakes. and a man trying to make a snake man. It's literally a scene-for-scene remake. Just replace snakes with the puppets. They didn't even have a story for this one. They just stole the story from a 70s film. That movie ends with someone turned into like a snake man.
Yeah.
This ends with obviously Tank being turned into a puppet man.
Yeah.
But that's what happened to his old apprentice. Was he tried to make him into a puppet man and it failed, so he set him on fire and threw him in the woods. And it's interesting because all the puppets suck in this movie.
Yeah.
But that one little guy, because the daughter goes and finds him and digs him up, and he's still alive. He's like half burnt. He's so like articulated, and he looks really good.
He looks really good,
and he's creepy.
Oh my God! I woke up.
Yeah, like, oh, something interesting happened.
No, his eyes are like pulsating. He's got burns all over him. In the behind the scenes video, they were saying that the actress was legitimately creeped out by this puppet. Like, didn't like holding it because it was writhing in her hands. That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a case of like they knew they were going to use stock footage from the previous movies for the puppets, so they didn't care. But they're like, what? But this is a new thing, so we got to invest all of our time and attention and budget into this, because it really stands out from the rest of the movie.
Yes, wonderful and creepy and beautiful. Discovered because Tank and college daughter were on a date, one of their several dates, because it's a romantic movie. It's a romantic drama. They spend like just time walking in the woods and having a lovely time. And
it's time you can fill up in the movie without having to have puppets in it, so just stretch.
I guess. There are some bullies, but we need to kill people eventually.
Yes.
So everyone else in the movie is a horrible bully. We have bullies that bully Tank and at least attempt to rape girl. We have bully police officers who, while they are bullies, are doing their job looking for a missing person and are on the right track, as it turns out. But all the bullies show up so we can kill people.
Yeah.
We do get some cool dream sequences in which Tank believes he's turning into a puppet, and we get like clockwork puppet stuff.
Yeah, again, that's like the little guy in the woods where it's like, oh, I guess they put their attention to the effects on like these shots, because that looks pretty neat.
Both made by the same guy. So the final sequence of the movie, here's where all my setup pays off. is Tank is finally able, Tank is going a little crazy. He's going a little mad working on this puppet, possibly because of the supernatural element of this whole thing.
We get multiple montages of him carving wood set to the Puppet Master theme.
Yes.
More than once we see that.
Yes.
The song just keeps playing. And that's something to point out before we get any further.
Yeah.
After part 3, part 4, 5, and this one really feel like there's no new score. They were just stitching together existing cues from the previous movies.
Yes.
It's very noticeable.
So he's going mad because he's trying to build, and it's very important to him. Like, one of the things set up is it has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect for the magic to work or something, because it's no longer
from this man who's carving wood.
From this man who's carving wood. Because, by the way, lore-wise, it's no longer about goop. It's no longer about Egyptian gods. It's now about making the perfect machine or whatever stupid bullshit. So eventually, he gets strapped to a table in his underwear.
Of course.
Please don't, please.
A lot of writhing. Just a meaty torso.
David Dakota has a type.
Yeah.
And all the shirtless men we've seen throughout his movies, they all have a very similar body type.
Yeah, very barrel-chested, good torso, barrel-chested little hips.
Yes.
That's David Dakota's type. So eventually, some sort of magic or science bullshit makes his soul go into the puppet that he's been meticulously crafting this whole time.
That we haven't seen in its entirety till now.
That's right.
And it's a little robot guy. It's a tank, a little robot guy.
It's a metal tank with a TV screen on it.
Did he carve that?
Did he carve the TV screen out of wood?
How did this work?
Okay. So the carving, none of it matters. They brought him in to carve wood because he was so good at wood carving. He made a metal tank.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid. But it's like, part of you can forgive that just because they don't care. It's sloppy writing. It's like, oh, his name is Tank. We're going to put him in a tank. But he needs to carve, like he needs to have, that's two sides of the creative process, not necessarily talking to each other.
Sure.
That's understandable. But like if you're the bad guy and you want to put someone in a puppet, would you give that puppet guns? To like immediately kill you with because they're mad about being put in a puppet? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's stupid.
I don't know. It just happened so quick, and then we're into credits, so I don't know.
Right.
This is the most abrupt ending of any of these. This doesn't leave you anywhere to go like some of the other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's like, I don't know. You could bring the tank puppet back, but they never do, of course.
No.
But man, he just kills the puppet master. We're out.
We're out. The college daughter is kind of there, but doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She didn't care. Like, she likes the puppets, but she's not the puppet master. Mm-mm. The puppet master was the one making the puppet, but he's a puppet now. Oh yeah, that's why to me this is the oh no face where it's just. It is a sloppy mess.
The editing is jarring because you're cutting to the previous movies.
Yep.
And then it all is made worse by the constant cutting to VHS footage.
Yeah.
Which I guess they couldn't do anything about that because the materials don't exist anymore. But
right, so that's fair. But then, like, at very least, like, pay off what you set up.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking for here.
Oh, I did write down the writer of this film. And I use that loosely because it's a remake of
Yeah.
But the writer's name is Neil Marshall Stevens.
Okay.
Who also wrote the next one, Retro Puppet Master.
Okay.
If you look up his IMDb, it's mostly low-budget crap like this. But then, smack dab in the middle of it, 13 Ghosts. If you remember that movie, just smack dab and nothing else but like no-budget direct-to-video garbage.
How weird.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, why Puppet evil now? Why Puppet good now?
Why movie?
Why movie?
Is the next one better?
That's an important question, Jay.
Which is worse, Retro Puppet Master or Curse of the Puppet Master?
That's an important question.
I'm going to say Retro Puppet Master was more boring, so that automatically makes Curse of the Puppet Master better,
3. This one just makes me sad.
Yeah, I would agree. These last two are similar to me.
Curse of the Puppet Master is better because Retro Puppet Master doesn't have that one thing that makes it awesome.
That's true. The only memorable thing about the movie, and the only reason anybody knows this one is because famously, the young Andre Toulon is played by Greg Sestero, who a couple years later would go on to be Mark in The Room.
Correct.
And he talks extensively about the experience of making this movie in his book, The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the only notable thing about it. Hold on, I want to see if I wrote down any. Because so far, every Puppet Master movie has had that one thing that's like, oh, this is legitimately cool.
Yeah.
This is a cool shot. This is a cool kill. The little rubber human puppet. Like, okay, one thing that makes it worth the entire movie, right? So...
All praise to Sutek. All praise to Sutek.
No.
Nothing.
This movie has absolutely nothing in it where you can go, oh, but this one thing.
Yeah. It's a prequel to the prequel, because we get 1944 Andre Toulon, even though he died in 1939 or 1941.
Correct.
But Guy Rolfe, they got him back. He's looking pretty old and tired in this. I think this is his last like acting credit. It's like, oh,
sure,
that's too bad. But then it flashes back to when he was a young man, and that's Greg Sestero in a not good accent.
I give you the Theatre Magique, where all things are possible.
Okay, that was going to be my one thing. Was it supposed to be French or German? Did he have a German accent before? Is he French?
Yes.
Andre Toulon?
Absolutely.
Whatever Sestero was doing was not an accent I've ever heard before.
Yes.
It's more Borat than anything.
What? I give you an opening like that and you don't take advantage of it? They are my very dear friends.
I've done nothing yet.
Holy moly.
This is the closest that the franchise so far has gotten to almost so bad it's funny. Yes. It never quite gets there, but it's the closest. Because we have they can't afford the Demon Sutek anymore.
Yep.
But we have the Demon Sutek's voice controlling these 3 mummies.
A sorcerer stole my great secret, the secret of life.
That then turn into the Matrix agents.
Yep.
Then kill him. Afterwards, there will be more money.
But the whole thing is a period piece.
Yes.
And unlike part 3, which has, they had a ton of actual era appropriate costumes.
Yes.
This one felt so cheap. It reminded me of, have you ever seen Cannibal the Musical? Trey Parker's first movie.
Yeah.
Which is meant to be about Alfred Packer, the famous, cannibal from the Donner Party days.
Yeah.
But supposedly period appropriate clothes, but it all looks so cheap.
Yeah.
But it's okay because that movie's a comedy.
Right.
This movie visually reminded me of Cannibal the Musical.
Yeah.
First one not shot in the US. This was shot in Budapest?
Oh.
Romania. Which is why all the actors are dubbed over, all the locals, the Romanian actors are dubbed over.
Well, since there's neither a bribe nor a loose morale mademoiselle attached to the complaint, I suspect they'll do nothing.
And so this is the telling of how he got the puppet master powers, which every single aspect of it is incredibly different to how we've heard it any time before.
Yes.
He no longer gets it in Egypt. He gets it in France. He's in Paris.
Yeah.
There's no longer a goop. There's no longer a soul swapping. He now has a magic ring that he has to plunge into people's necks and then into the puppets' necks, and then he says a magic word.
Yes.
Nek, Naraka, Alakman, Lalvala.
What Puppet Master 7's old Puppet Master says was he's been alive for 3,000 years in Egypt.
Okay. But it's not just a random guy he met at a fair or whatever it is, like in the earlier movies when they're putting on the Faust play.
Right. Which he said was in Cairo before. I was in Cairo putting on the Faust play. Now they are in France, and the man is it's just happenstance.
Yeah.
The man is beat up by the zomboids outside of Toulon's magical puppet show, and he just says, you'll do. Literally, I want to say that is a line in the movie, is you'll do.
I suppose you'll have to do.
You're fine. I'm going to die. I'm going to pass my power. You'll do. And so it's just happenstance.
Toulon's puppet show, by the way, is really lame.
We could be nowhere else but hell.
Everywhere is hell, for we are the damned.
You say it was lame, but we have people or Toulon describes it. You are about to see a world of fear and desire.
Terror and wonder. Heaven and hell. Fear and desire.
Beyond your wildest imaginations, where all things are possible. Cut to the puppet show.
Don't you know, my friend?
Smell the sulfur.
And the puppets talk And we as an audience know which puppet is talking because we cut to a close-up of that puppet.
Yeah.
But if you were in the crowd just watching this show, they're all just like static.
Yeah.
You'd have no idea who's supposed to be talking.
Yeah.
Feel the heat of the flames.
And then what? I forget.
I don't know what happens. Stuff happens. He makes some puppets. There's a couple new puppets, new old puppets.
Blade was either designed on a Faustian devil, or it was designed on the SS officer that killed his wife.
Yes.
Or it was just a doll he made once.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. Also, going back to like Puppet Master 3, like, oh, my friend the truck driver, big strong man. I made a big strong man. Tunneler? My good friend had a drill for a head. Stupid.
This movie was like, I was on my way out. This is like when you're watching something on TV as you're leaving your house.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, I'm going out the door now.
This isn't worth
Psychologically, that's where I was at with this film.
Yeah. Yeah, like, do you ever start watching a movie, like, standing up? Like, if it's just on TV? And then, like, if it's good enough, maybe you'll sit down. But this is one where you'll walk back. I'd rather wash dishes than watch this movie.
One mildly interesting thing, there's the 3 Sutek demon guys. One of them, the main one, I think he's kind of the leader, is played by an actor named Stephen Blackheart, who is like best friends with James Gunn. They got their start at Troma together.
Yeah.
Stephen Blackheart's in Romeo and Juliet, which James Gunn wrote and basically directed, even though he doesn't have a credit as a director, and has continued to be in all of his stuff. He has a very small part in Guardians of the Galaxy.
All of them.
I think he's in all the sequels, yeah. He's got like a close-up in the first one. So that's Stephen Blackheart. Friend of James Gunn. It's good to know people that are talented, I guess, because then you'll get out of being in crap like Retro Puppet Master. He never has to do that again.
That's interesting, like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Right? Like the company that was spawned by Puppet Master. Like, what is their filmography, Full Moon? But even pre-digital days, digital garbage days. I mean, are we talking in the hundreds? Are we talking in the like 80 movies?
How many movies they made?
Pre-digital garbage days. How many movies do you think they made?
Oh, geez.
From 1989 to 2000.
It's probably in the hundreds.
Probably in the hundreds.
Yeah.
All because of Puppet Master.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's think about how many people were employed.
Sure.
Like this isn't just a bright side. There were people working and being creative. During one of the video zones, someone was talking candidly about the low budget. And they said, we didn't have a lot of budget, but what we did have is a lot of people. Because Full Moon had a cast of cinematographers, had a cast of puppeteers, had a cast of people who were making costumes. They just had employees.
And I guess to continue on that and end on a positive note, because we're done talking about Retro Puppet Master, going back to David Allen, who was the special effects whiz that did all the stop motion on the earlier movies. He had always wanted to direct a movie. So Charles Band let him direct Puppet Master 2. But his passion project, his dream project, even before Full Moon days, for decades, he wanted to make a movie called The Prime Evils. Which was kind of his tribute to like Ray Harryhausen, Journey to the Center of the Earth, those like old-timey like adventure movies.
Sure, Jason and the Argonauts.
Jason and the Argonauts, that type of stuff. But he never, it was going to be expensive, and he had all these ideas. It's basically like Yetis and aliens. That's the concept.
Yes.
And he wanted to make it for decades, since like the 70s.
Yeah.
And Charles Band, that's the reason he kept working with Charles Band, is because Charles Band was like, someday we're going to have enough money where I can let you make this movie. During the heyday of the Paramount era, they had enough money. They shot The Prime Evils during that time. So this was like Puppet Master 3 era, when they had the most money to work with. They shot the movie. And then during the post-production, there were so many like stop motion shots that had to be done. But during that point, when they were working on the stop motion shots, that's when Dave Allen passed away. So the movie was incomplete. And they talk about it. You can find video zones. I think the one they shot in Milwaukee, there's like a giant skull behind him, right?
Yes, yeah.
That was a prop from the Primevals because they were working on the movie at the time.
Hi, I'm Charles Band, and I'm here actually in front of a huge Yeti skeleton, which is for one of our upcoming films called The Primevals.
It's now, just as of a couple months ago, they had all of David Allen's assistants and his proteges and stuff that worked with him over the last few years do all the incomplete stop motion shots.
Yeah.
And they finished the movie and it's out and you can watch it now. So decades later, all thanks to Puppet Master, David Allen was able to complete, he died before it was complete, but he was able to shoot his dream project.
Right.
And now just this year, it's finally been released.
Does that make Charles Band like a good guy?
Well, that does. There's many things he's done that are very questionable business practices, but the fact that he had enough integrity to not say I'm not just gonna slap these last few shots together and get the movie out there. The fact that he took the time to do it the way that David Allen would have done it and get the movie out there, that's kind of nice.
That's, to me, we're starting to get into the crappy digital era.
Yes.
But I think ending, if we would have stopped talking at Puppet Master 5, then we could be oh, what a wholesome story.
What a fun series of films.